What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining me once again for another installment of Hoggie's Quick Beer Reviews. Now, from your point of view, it may look like we're reviewing another IPA today, but we're not. This here is the Avery India Pale Ale, one of my favorite IPAs, but these are all empties. We're not reviewing this today. There's 5 empty bottles here. The one that is not is this guy here, and this is today's beer. This is called White Rascal, also from Avery. White Rascal is a Belgian-style wheat ale, so it says on the bottle. Belgian-style wheat ale, ale brewed with spices, from the Avery Brewing Company in Boulder, Colorado. And as you can see, it's got a little devil, rascally looking dude there with a glass of beer in his hand, I guess. So anyways, I've never had this beer, whereas I've had a lot of these. But the thing is, and in case you're wondering why this whole deal with the empty 6-pack, the thing is, I've been seeing this beer around for a long time. At my local Winn-Dixie supermarket, they have the 2 Avery beers, the IPA and the White Rascal. Never had the White Rascal, but I keep seeing it. And some of you may remember me mentioning the Titanic Brewing Company. Titanic is a local brew pub we have here in Miami. And aside from their own beers, they usually keep in stock, I think, about 3 guest beers, guest taps. And White Rascal has been on tap there for quite some time as well. So I keep running into this beer, and yet I've never had it. And the other day I went to the store, I was in the mood for an IPA, I was thinking of buying this. And when I get there, there's this single solitary bottle of White Rascal sitting on the shelf. And I said, you know what, screw it. So I pulled out an IPA, I threw this one in the 6-pack, and off I went. Because I just wanted to try it. Now, this is a Belgian-style wheat beer, which is a witbier, or a white beer. Basically a Belgian-style wheat beer. It's cloudy, it's unfiltered, it's kind of, because of the cloudiness, well, it's cloudy because it's unfiltered, and because it's cloudy, it looks kind of white, therefore they call it a white ale, or a white beer. They're usually spiced with coriander and orange peel. Every once in a while you see some variations on that, but they're basically spiced, unfiltered wheat beers. Not my favorite style of beer. For those of you who may not know too much about craft beer yet, think Shock Top, think Blue Moon. Those are the same style of beer, Belgian style, unfiltered, cloudy, hazy, spiced wheat beers. So this is Avery's take on the style, and again, I'm just curious about it, so I picked it up just to check out the beer. Now, let me get this out of here because don't got anything in there anyway. Now, for a wheat beer, break out the wheat beer glass, or the Weizen glass. And before we even get to that, we check Beer Advocate like we always do. Just to give you an idea here, Beer Advocate, let's see, White Rascal from the Avery Brewing Company in Colorado. This beer gets a B overall out of 435 reviews. It is categorized as a wit beer, and it is 5.5 ABV. Cool beans. Now, I like Avery. Avery's a really good brewing company. I haven't had too many of their beers, but the ones I've had, I've really liked. I reviewed their barley wine on YouTube. I reviewed the IPAs on the website on beerbreath.com. And I think I've had one more beer from them, but it slips my mind now. But now we're doing White Rascal. So, pop the top, no smoke, and off we go down the glass. Now, this is an unfiltered beer. Usually what you want to do with these is leave about an inch or so in the glass, swirl that around, and pour that back in there. That collects all the sediment, yeast sediment floating down there, pours it right in. Alright, now, wow, that is pale. I mean, these beers tend to be, you know, a very light color. Neighbor's kids going wild. Ooh, they're in trouble. Alright guys, sorry about that. I had to edit because the kids were just screaming and going crazy there. So anyways, It's only been about 30-40 seconds there, so as you can see, this beer is a very light, very pale straw. I mean, this is much lighter than I expected. There's streams of carbonation I can see rising up. This is a hazy straw color. I mean, light straw. I'm actually amazed at how light this beer is. The head that formed was kind of nice. It's receded rather quickly though. Getting hints of zest. There is some coriander, orange, your typical witbier spices. I do smell the wheat in there as well. It smells much to style. I mean, much like your regular witbier. Also a hint of lemon, maybe. Maybe they used lemon zest and orange zest. There's another spice in there. I can't put my finger on it. But there is also a strong wheat smell coming out of this. So there you go. Let's try it out. Not bad. Refreshing. There is a little bit of lemon there. Lemon and slight citrus mixed with wheat, little coriander. It's nicely spiced. It has a very nice flavor to it. And it's not as thin as this light color would let on. Of course, it is unfiltered, so there is sediment, there is texture to that body. This is not a clear, thin beer. But the mouthfeel is actually very nice. The carbonation is just about right. Definitely lemony. I figured this would be very orange from the orange label on here. And actually, and there's a little orange on the label, but I'm getting strong hints of lemon, a little bit of orange, wheat, and your other spices, coriander, and that spice to be named later. But this is very nice. This is refreshing. Now, I've never been a fan of this style. It's just too thin and a little too fruity. For wheat beers, my taste, my preference is an American wheat beer. You know, nice hoppy wheat beer like the Sierra Nevada wheat, or maybe a good Heffy, a German-style wheat beer, kind of a more medium body with those hints of banana and clove that you get with that yeast. But these seem to be a little too light, too weak for me. But this one, for the style, for the ones I've had, this is actually pretty good. I can see why this is popular. I really can. If you like wheat beers, if you like wit beers, and you haven't checked out Avery's White Rascal, I say you do it. I'm not too familiar with this style, so I can't just call it a glass full. I'm tempted to, because this is tasty. This is tasty. It's a nice blend of citrus and spice and wheat, and the body, even though this light color will throw you off, it's actually approaching medium, and it has kind of a richness to it that's hard to describe. But I like it. I like it. It's very creamy. It's very good. And that head, it hasn't disappeared, man. It's still a nice layer of foam there atop the beer. So, White Rascal, guys, strong glass half full. If you like wit beers, if you like wheat beers, check it out. Now I'm going to knock this down and then go drink an IPA. I think I got another one somewhere in the fridge. But that's just me. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.